Hello everybody, welcome to this stream talking about the Elegoo Mars 3 resin printer. I've been really excited to get this on the table and get it unboxed. It's been sitting here for about a week. Just haven't had the chance to get it done until today. I really want to thank Elegoo for sending this out, as well as the wash and cure machine. So I've got the printer and the Mercury X Bundle wash and cure machine. I am really looking forward to unboxing these for you this evening and give you a quick look at what you're going to be getting in with this new printer. This is Elegoo's latest and greatest. It's got a 4K monochrome screen that allows it to print very quickly. It allows it to print in very high detail. 4K is just incredible at the low Mars type price. So this is a great deal going on, or this is a great printer, great resin printer. If you like to print miniatures, which is, if you're following this channel, there's a really good chance that's what you're doing. This should be a great printer for printing highly detailed, beautiful looking miniatures. So I really can't wait to get some miniatures printing on this. Let's see here. Okay. So without further ado, let's get this started. Let's start with the 3D printer. I'll move this over here so it's a little out of the way. And I will get this started. These usually go fairly quickly because, there's not a lot to unbox with Elegoo printer. I do have the key for Chi2Box Pro. I don't know if you've been following all of that as of late, where Chi2Box Systems is trying to lock down their boards so that they only work with Chi2Box or Chi2Box slicers. There are workarounds to it. You can slice it in whatever, or you can do all your supports and do all your work in any slicer you want, be it Prusa slicer, Lychee, or whatnot, and then you can use Chi2Box to actually do the slicing. I'm really hoping that Elegoo is able to put some pressure on them to unlock their board, not have that happen. I do know that Elegoo is trying, because of the community comments and stuff, I know that they are trying to get that changed for their printers. So I really hope that happens. I'd really like to see that. So in the box, you've got the printer. This is the base. This is the new cover for it. It's kind of a sleeker new cover. A goodie box full of the toolkit goodie box with all of the tools, and it's pretty much filled up. You've got the power supply here. You've got both a plastic and a regular scraper, extra set of gloves, strainer, some extra tools for it, the USB drive that should have the parts on it, a couple of masks, and some snips. So I'm going to close this up because I really won't need most of that for this. So here we go. So make sure I get all the pieces and parts out of here. Okay, so this is a nice. So a couple of things in the vat that I'm noticing right away. It has a max point. You can see that on there. It tells you the maximum amount to go to. It's got a little edge on it, so that it can set on the table and keep the FEP off the table, which is really nice. This is what the bottom of it looks like. So, and it's got on the corners right here, it's got these screws that will sit down a little bit, and they'll actually sit down into the printer itself, so to make it so it's really secure. You got two screws to screw it in. So let me get the film off. There we go. go. So I'll be able to put the resin in there. Do want to get it plugged in. Nice thing about these is that they always do go quite quickly. Oh. Let's see here. Get this plugged in. Okay, so the power plug is dead center in the back. Just plug that in. On the front, I'll show here. On the front, we've got the USB thumb drive right in the front. That's very convenient to get to. It's got a push button power switch. Oops, maybe I should have done that. There we go. It's booting up. So I've heard about a wobble, and I'm going to crank on it. It's not actually moving that easily, so it might have a wobble if you really crank on it, but what I was able to do, there wasn't much of a wobble to it. The base wants to push back a little bit because I think it's a little bit back heavy, but it really feels pretty solid. So I don't know about all of that stuff. Oh, let's take the film off that. Ooh. Okay, so I'm gonna get this to move up. So I'm gonna manually move this up so that I can put the bed on it. Let's see here. There's more stuff on the bed that needs to come off, another cover. I have to admit, when these first come out, they're beautiful looking, and after a few weeks, they're gonna get all scratched up here. I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna compare it to the Saturn bed for you. Let's see. So just to give you an idea, this is the Saturn bed and this is the Mars 3 bed. So it is quite a bit smaller than the Saturn, but you do get the upgraded, the 4K display and such on it. I just want to give you a quick difference so you can tell the difference, or so you can see the difference between one and the other. Oh, come on. There we go. Unfortunately, these kinds of covers don't work as good on these racks here. So this is like any other Elegoo bed. It's got the 2 screws, probably a ball head in there, I would assume, just like all the previous ones that I've had. Let's go a little higher so this will slide on easier. Let's see here. So that's basically it for the unboxing of this. Like I said, these go very, very quickly. I'm going to see what's on the USB drive really quick to print. So it's got the Rook model, it looks like, which is what you normally find on these. Let's see here. It's got the mainboard specification and then some other stuff, but it looks like the Rook's the only piece on here. But I'll get that, or I'll get something printed. I usually print some miniatures, some skeleton miniatures and zombie miniatures that are free that anybody can print, so you can get a comparison. But I always print those. That way, all my various printers have the same base level print job on them. So I'm going to get that started here shortly. Actually, after the stream, I've got the code, but I have not actually installed the new version of Chi2Box. I kind of forgot to do that to get that stuff sliced, but I will be doing that here shortly. As it is, this is pretty quiet. I don't know if you can hear it, but just turned on. It's actually pretty quiet, so I'm pretty happy about that. Nice, quiet deal. One thing I am noticing here is that, and I think you should be able to see it. No, you're not going to be able to see it there. Let's see if I can grab this. Bring it on here. The vat is actually a decent size larger than the print bed. So that's kind of interesting. So the nice thing about that is that you can add more material to it, more resin. So that'll be really nice that you can do something like that. I can't help but think if somebody could create a new bed for it, you could get a larger bed for it too. That'll fit in there. So now I'm going to do the wash and cure station really quick. And I'm going to open this up. Wow, this one is taped like crazy. So this is my first wash and cure station. I've got pieces and parts. Like I've got up here, this here. You can see this is a bread box I created for larger prints. That it's actually got that it's got a string of LEDs, UV LEDs in it. And I basically built that. It's actually kind of nice because it's got a, I don't know if you can see it, it's got a window in it so you can see into it, so it's kind of nice. But these all-in-one units are just more convenient. So I'm actually kind of looking forward to having a single unit like this that has everything built in. This one's proving to be a little more difficult to get out. Oh. That comes out, and this comes out, the base here. There we go. And the instructions. Okay. So first, I'm going to take the base off. This also means I'm going to have to buy a bunch more isopropyl alcohol because I've got to fill this. Holy cow, 7,000 milliliters is the top recording here, right there. 7,000 milliliters of material, or of IPA. That's kind of crazy. But this can actually hold a lot more than what I have been using. So that's going to be very, very convenient for me. And these will actually be able to support the Saturn, which is going to be very convenient from what I understand. Because nothing that I have actually will work with the Saturn other than some some Rubbermaid type boxes that I have, and a toothbrush. I have to kind of do them in pieces and parts for very, very large models. So it's kind of a pain. But this will be a lot easier. So this is part of the tower. This looks like the base of the tower here. Okay. This is the power supply. Here's parts for it. Now I will admit I have not watched videos on this particular piece, and so I've never actually, like I said, I've never actually taken apart one of these, or never put one together. I've never taken out of a box, so bear with me a little bit here. Let's see here. So what I'm guessing here is this will go back in here, and then this piece here believe is what the plate, yeah, the plate. Oh yeah, and here it is showing the Saturn bed, or the looks like it'll actually support one Saturn or two Mars 2 beds. So should support 3 Mars or 2 Mars 3 beds as well. So this is used, it looks like, to keep it up possibly. I don't know. I'll have to figure that out. I'll probably release some sort of update on that. This is the cure station here, so that everything can cure on it. These are the two bases. So this is actually pretty cool. I'm kind of jumping around a little bit here. So here, let me do this. Let me go with the wash station. So I'm going to put this in here, put this together, because I'm not going to need this until after I get a print done. And I buy a lot of isopropyl alcohol. And this is going to be the base for that. So it's basically got one giant button on the front. You push it in. This is where that can go, and that is going to be the washing portion, and then this will be the curing portion, and then these are going to be the lights, and they're going to fit about like that. Leave that in there. Let's see here. Here's the bag of goodies. So this is going to require a little dexterity to get done. That's always exciting. So this has the plug right here. It's got a twist tie holding it in. So I need to untwist that, get that out of the way, and without it slipping in, but it's actually got more play than I thought it would. Get that plugged in there. And there we go. It's going to be that simple. And then just grab this. Get that screwed in. These are going to be self-tapping. So they're screws, not bolts, just to let you know. It's kind of convenient. They've got one with a ball head on the end, since I have to avoid the tower. That ball head, or the ball end on the hex wrench, is really convenient at this point. Okay, get that on, get it around. Just a couple of turns gets it in. So there's 5 on this. There's 4 around the sides, and there's 1 in the back. Just going to check these instructions really quick. Make sure I'm supposed to screw them all in. I'm pretty sure I'm supposed to, but I just want to make sure. One of the problems with doing this live that I've never seen it done, it doesn't actually say. It shows them going in. Yeah, it looks like I'm supposed to use them all. At least I'm supposed to do the 4 on the outside. I don't know about the one in the back that holds the zip tie, but I'm going to assume that one should be in as well. Looks like I've got enough hardware to do it, so. The only issue that I'm running into is that there's not a lot of clearance for that tower, so the screws are not going in as cleanly as I would like. Okay, it's a good thing that I did in this order, because in this one here, there's actually 2 connectors in the bottom. I actually had not noticed that. So I'm glad that I did this one second, because that may have confused me a lot, because this was in the right order. So there's that, and then here is the other connector that goes in the bottom. There we go. go. There's one. So I have a different curing machine, and it looks like it uses a similar principle. It's basically a turntable with UV on the side, though this one actually has, looks like 4 UV lights on the bottom, so that should help a little bit better for the bottom. I know that I usually cure it most of the way, and then I'll put the models in on their sides or whatever so that they can get cured all the way around, just in case on the bottom. So this is going to be nice. It's got all of that already built in. And there we go. That's all built. It's similar to the wash station. It's got a button you push here. You can twist this. The power supply is right here. And the power supply has a Y on it. So I'm not a big fan of this. I'll tell you right now. That's going to cause me problems with how I've got it set up, how I've got my my power strip set up, but I have some short, couple inch long extension cords just for this so that I can plug those in there, and then this will plug into that. That's kind of annoying. But then this has got a Y splitter on it, so it'll go to both pieces here. Give me a second here. I'm gonna unplug this and see what else I have here that I can oh, hey, I might have a spot here that I can plug this in. Thankfully, my power strip is set up that I think it will accept this. Okay, yes, it will. Okay, so I've got that plugged in. So what that is, let's see. Whoops. So I've got it plugged in. Let me see. Is there anything? Okay, yeah, they have power. Okay, so you have to hold down the power. Oh, and there's a digital display right here. So you have to hold this down to turn it on and to turn it off. So just to show you. So I'm going to set it to 30 seconds. So that's set to 30 seconds. And the turntable's moving, it's spinning around, you can see all the lights are on, and that's how that works. So pressing it once turns that off. I'm going to hold it down and turn it all the way off. I don't have anything in here, so I really don't want to get this really fired up much, but it's much the same. Flip that, hold that down. I can feel it going, but I'm going to turn it off immediately, because I don't really have anything in there to start spinning it. And I don't know if that's going to cause any problems, so I'm not going to allow it to have any problems. But there you go. So this is the latest and greatest coming out. Let's see, I should plug this back in now. This is the latest and greatest coming from Elegoo. This is the Elegoo Mars 3 with that amazing 4K screen that I really cannot wait to start playing with and put some miniatures on there and get some amazing miniatures off of that are just I really cannot wait. I know that certain miniatures companies are saying that you can't bring armies printed and stuff like that, and a lot of people for a long time said, well, 3D printing can't produce results that these companies are getting. But I would say with the 4K display and some of the quality of the modelers that's in our community, there's not going to be any problems reaching the quality of conventionally molded and sculpted type models. And a lot of the miniatures nowadays are actually designed in 3D on 3D print, or designed in computers and 3D printed on higher end printers anyways. So I think this is going to make things even a little more interesting for the miniatures makers. We're still a very niche product category, so I still don't think miniatures companies have a lot to fear from us just yet. I think that a lot of these companies could be missing out on some major missed opportunities because they're not opening their back catalogs up to 3D printing. I'm thinking about especially like Games Workshop, game companies that still have products that are being released, and people might want old models that they just don't release anymore because it's too expensive to create a run of models. If they could release digital versions of them and people could print them, they could still have a residual type of income off those models basically until Games Workshop closes, for all intents and purposes. Same goes for a lot of games that may go out of business. The company could buy the assets of that, or the company could just kind of stay in existence and just sell what they have, 3D models of what they have, and be able to keep games alive on life support, games that people really have enjoyed. Again, going back to Games Workshop, I've had Man of War forever, and it's a very fun game. It's one of my favorite. I've always been a fan of the specialist type games, but it's probably one of my favorite games. And the great thing about I see a dog over there. Hey, Kimber. The great thing about this is that you can create miniatures that are in the same scale, and they may not be exactly the same. There's a Kickstarter that I backed that has amazing miniatures. He's creating a new rule set for naval warfare, but the great part about it is that the miniatures look, I wouldn't say the same, but they have, the elven fleets have very elven looks to them. The dwarven fleets have very dwarven looks to them. It's not that difficult to understand what the ships are. So it's a very cool system where I'm getting this game, which could be pretty cool. I haven't really played around with it at all. I really need to. But the miniatures double for this other game that I play, this old game, and that's where I think that some of this 3D printing is going to really be awesome, where we're going to be able to continue playing games that have gone out of print, or pieces that have been out of print for a long time. We'll be able to create prints of. There's a couple of games that I've played in the past. One is Babylon 5 Wars. This one I've always wanted to get into more. I love Babylon 5. I'd love to play the miniatures game on that one. Even more recently, A Billion Suns came out by Mark Hutchison, I believe his name is. He's also the guy behind Gaslands. And basically, you can 3D print a fleet, or just buy any random fleet you want, and you can have your different you have different scale or different types of ships, and you use them. Well, you can 3D print those now. People are creating fleets already. I've purchased multiple fleets on my mini factory already. I believe, I want to say from Sable Badger, but it's been a couple months. It might be from somebody else, but I think it was from Sable Badger that he has some fleets that just look really good for that game. So I really am excited. I really think that for the 3D printing market, this Mars 3 represents another major step forward in the hobby, where we can create these amazingly detailed models, and they're going to be, previously people would say, oh, it's table quality, and that's great. Well, these are going to be up close, fully, paintable, beautiful looking. You don't have any problems. And honestly, with even the 2K and earlier versions of the screens, they were already in that range. This just gives us more quality, more capabilities of creating more detail, and it's just more, and that's as I was saying. So I think it's pretty incredible. You've got the Mars 3, you've got this Mercury X kit here that allows you to easily cure, or easily wash, easily cure large models too. My other one is like this big. It's smaller than this wash station. My wash station is pretty big. I'll show you that. I won't pull the base out, but my wash station is actually pretty large, but doesn't hold a candle to the size of this one. But then again, I can now, do 2 batches at once, or some other things. I still have an ultrasonic cleaner. I'll actually put water in that, some soapy water, and well, not soapy water, but the water, just to clean out the pieces once I'm all done. But this is really the heart of the cleaning. If you can agitate the liquid or your IPA, get it nice and clean, and then having a good curing station to cure it really well. I'm really looking forward to putting all of this through its paces. I really can't wait, honestly. So as soon as I'm done with this stream here in a couple of minutes, I'm going to get started on that, and I'm going to slice some models, throw them in here. I'm using the Ceratec Fast. They're gray. This is my go-to resin. I've got some other resins here. I don't know if you can see. Now you really can't see them, but I've got some other resins that I've been playing with that. The great thing about it is they all work well. Like this stuff's from Eryon, I think, Eryone. I've got a clear resin and another one. They sent me 2 500 milliliter or 500 gram ones. These work well. This one here, this is from Frozen. They're Frozen Aqua Green. Another wonderful resin that I really like. And then just the standard Elegoo, I believe it's the ABS-like, is another one that works really well. All 3 of those, the Fast, the Frozen Green, and the Elegoo ABS-like, I print miniatures in all of those, and they're all resilient. They don't just fall on the ground and explode. My old Anycubic, the original Anycubic green resin, I had to be and I still have to be very, very careful with my models, because they have a tendency to shatter at times if I'm not careful if they fall. Where these newer versions like this, the Fast and stuff, work really well and don't have those same issues. I really hope you have enjoyed this stream. If you have any questions, feel free to put them in the comment section. I try to get back to you as quickly as I can. Right now is a little crazy for me, but hopefully within a couple of weeks, life will go back to normal for me, and I'll be able to answer things on a normal basis like I'd like to. Yeah, I'm really excited. Like I said, I'm really excited about these printers, the wash stations. This should make my processing go a lot quicker. This is honestly right here where I do it. I have this here. This is just a silicone. I'm gonna plug these. This is just a silicone dog mat that I got from Amazon. I put a turkey baking dish on it, though this one here needs to be tossed out. It's been here for a while and it's seen better days. But I just do all my work in here, all my cleaning and stuff. And then once I'm done with all the gunkiness and it's been rinsed in water, then I do kind of the final stuff on here. But I use this as a base to keep my workstation clean. It's cheap, it was a relatively cheap silicone base. Works really, really well. Rolls up easy, stashes easy. So again, I want to thank Elegoo for sending the Mars 3 and the Mercury X bundle. I really appreciate it. I can't wait to put these through their paces and get a review done, get a preview done, quicker preview, just to kind of talk about the specs and all the cool stuff about this. and I hope you've enjoyed it. Thank you for watching. And also, please visit my website, makerfun3d.com, and like and subscribe to my channel so that I can grow it bigger and get more, be able to help more people. Thank you much.